So as we get closer to the iPhone SE4's release date, we have evidence that this iPhone is launching very soon in leaked source codes, and so let's dive in. So reliable leaker Evan Blass has found evidence of a new iPhone SE4 alongside the iPad Air and iPad 11. Now fortunately that's all we get, but of course these products being put together in a database heavily does suggest we are indeed getting a spring event, and Apple plans to launch these products together very soon. So yeah, that is more confirmation, I guess. The iPhone SE should come out in March or April. Now if you're wondering how this iPhone SE4 is going to look, we have dummy models of the iPhone SE4 showing us the brand new design. And when I say brand new, it just looks a lot like the iPhone 14. So these models come from Sonny Dixon, who's a somewhat reliable source, but also remember we are only a few months away from this phone actually releasing, so we can somewhat be sure these are legit. Also, case manufacturers use dummies to make cases before an iPhone releases, and so whilst they don't function, they should give us a good idea of the exterior design. And well, this basically matches up with every rumor we've heard about the iPhone SE so far. So of course, we can see this is indeed based on the iPhone 14, which will be a massive upgrade over the iPhone SE3 that's based on the iPhone 6. And also on the back, there will be one single camera that's going to be 48 megapixels, just like the iPhone 16. That's also awesome news. The rails of the phone should be aluminium, just like every other non-Pro iPhone. There is no action button or camera control to be found on these dummies though, so that remains an exclusive for the higher end models, which I'm not surprised by. I guess we can live with a mute switch for a low price, though I won't deny an action button would have been nice to see. You know what else would be nice? If you click that subscribe button, of course. It's free and it would bring you the latest about Apple right to subscription box, so please consider it. It would be appreciated. Join the Saranbyte gang now. Now that's basically all the small details these models show, and these do only come in black and white, and considering Apple stopped producing red iPhones all of a sudden, I do wonder if this will be the first iPhone since the 10 to not come in any color except black and white. That would be a bit of a bummer, but maybe that's an intentional decision on their part to maybe get you to buy higher end iPhones with their wider range of colors, because for regular consumers who care a lot about colors, they might be swayed to the more expensive 15 or 16 solely for this reason. But overall guys, when you look at the design and the specs of the iPhone SE4, you may think this all seems too good to be true. And well, yeah, it kinda is, because there is going to be an Achilles heel with this device, and that's the fact it'll be one of Apple's first devices to use the in-house modem. For those unaware, Apple currently relies on Qualcomm for the modems they use in their iPhones, but a couple of years ago they had bought out Intel's modem business to use as a basis for their own modems. Now we are finally getting products with these, and first up will be the iPhone SE in March. According to Mark Gurman, Apple's modem should give us theoretical speeds of up to 4 gigabits per second, which is slower than Qualcomm's modem that Apple currently uses, and there also won't be millimeter wave support. There also could be issues that crop up with call reception, and so whilst Apple has been letting employees secretly test these modems already, they likely won't be coming to the higher end iPhones anytime soon because it's a first generation modem, but these disadvantages aren't as big of an issue when the price is lower, and so using the SE as a guinea pig isn't a bad idea. Now it's not all doom and gloom because there will be some advantages with Apple's in-house modem. For example, similar to Apple Silicon, we should see lower power consumption, improved cellular network scanning and satellite connectivity enhancements, and these will be produced by TSMC. Now Apple plans for their modems to replace Qualcomm's technology in iPhones by 2027, so we're still a while away before this becomes a de facto standard. But yes, hopefully there aren't too many issues with these first gen modems, but I'm sure speeds are going to be slower. So yes, that also works in Apple's favor because that could also push consumers to buy higher end iPhones. Anyway, let's now recap everything we know about the iPhone SE, and guess what? Gurman conveniently does exactly that in a new report. So for one, he says this will be similar to the iPhone 14, which is not really a surprise. We see that with the dummies, we've heard about it from numerous other sources, but hey, Gurman chiming in and corroborating on this is great news because he's a reliable source. This alone means we're getting Face ID instead of Touch ID, and more importantly a 6.1-inch OLED, which is going to be a humongous upgrade over the 4.7-inch LCD display we have right now. But more excitingly, Gurman clarifies on some confusion regarding the SE4 getting Apple Intelligence support or not. Previously, Ice Universe told us, and I quote, "We could see 6 to 8 gigs of LPDDR5 memory, which does suggest you're getting different amounts of RAM depending on the storage tier you go with. This is quite common in the Android world, but would be a first for the iPhone, though do remember the iPad Pro has done this for a while with the base models getting 8 gigs and higher end storage tiers getting 16 gigs of RAM. But the issue here is that if the base SE gets 6 gigs of RAM, it would not be able to run Apple Intelligence. And so I've said in previous videos that I don't see Apple doing this. It would be very confusing if only higher end storage variants supported such a crucial feature, and thankfully Gurman makes it clear the iPhone SE4 is going to have full Apple Intelligence support, so that means 8 gigs is going to be standard regardless of the storage tier. To be fair, considering the A18 is only used in the iPhone 16 right now, and that has 8 gigs of RAM, they're most likely just going to reuse the same SoC in the iPhone SE4. Moving on to other details we know about the iPhone SE4, according to leaker Unknowns21, partially assembled prototypes of the next SE have been equipped with lithium-ion batteries bearing the model number A2863. And guess what? Apple's already used this in the iPhone 14, which again is not surprising. The phone looks like the iPhone 14, so of course it's going to reuse the same battery as well. Now the actual capacity of the battery is 3,279 mAh, which again is a massive upgrade of the 2018 mAh battery the current SE has. I actually used to use the SE3 back in the day as a beta testing device, and whilst the battery life wasn't terrible, it's only just about good enough in my opinion, and so this having a battery capacity similar to the 14 is fantastic news, because I did test the iPhone 14 and that gave me 7 or 8 hours of screen on time, which is plenty enough for most consumers. Unknowns21 then explains the obvious and says it's going to save Apple money to reuse components, and well, it does not take a genius to work that out. Believe it or not guys, but using old battery tech and chucking it in the new phone is going to be cheaper for Apple. Who'd have figured? Jokes aside, this is the blueprint for the iPhone SE and low-end products in general from Apple. It's a recycle bin iPhone. Whatever components can be found in the parts bin for a low price ends up being the new SE. And well, of course, considering they're still producing the iPhone 14, it makes it the perfect candidate for the new SE. Remember, the SE2 replaced the iPhone 8 that was still being produced, and the SE1 replaced the 5S that Apple was still producing. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments, make sure to like and subscribe for more content like this, and thank you for watching. Right, we've heard a lot about the camera bump on iPhone 17, there's been a lot of conflicting rumours, but it seems today we actually have some evidence pointing towards the horizontal camera being finalised, at least on the Air model. Let's delve in. So courtesy of leaker Mijumbi, we have an alleged image of the backplate of iPhone 17 Air. Now of course, take this with a massive grain of salt, since we're still months away from these iPhones getting mass produced. And also who knows, this could be an AI generated pic for all we know, so yeah, take it with a grain of salt. But regardless, it's news, so what does it show? Well, we see two shells that show us a pill-shaped camera module that's raised and towards the top of the device. On the left, there's a cutout for the single 48 megapixel camera. That's how we know it's the Air, because that's only getting one camera on the back. And of course, on the right, there's a cutout for the flash and mic. Now, I do like the look of this, and yes, I know it looks like the iPhone and the Pixel had a baby,